generally bound towards the front side of the zone, but it's going to be a little bit interesting here as they're moving back. These are some of their old builds, but there are players who have already established themselves and are beginning to about face, and Cold took a bunch of damage there.
Yeah, but this is where Scented really starts to come in clutch here, right? His decision-making in the end game is usually flawless right now. Look at this. They managed to save a ton of material. We thought we would see a little sliding mechanic in play, and Scented proving that he's got the skills to throw right now. He's going to go ahead and box that player up, pretty much leave Cold to kind of close things out there and slide on in as his focus is getting to the new zone. A disciplined decision there to stop the fight, play for positioning. Mira on the other side has to make these same kind of decisions, but unfortunately, out of heals, out of gas. He's gonna have to take a fight right now as he also has no material. Could this be the blessing in disguise? No, that player had shield. This is rough. The launch pad comes out though, and he is just holding on right now, trying to get in front of this zone, and he is gonna buy himself a little bit more time. As every team falls now, there will be points divvied out, right? So this is very, very important that Miro tries to stay up here.
Yeah, once you're into that top 25, every single duo who goes down, it basically means, hey, you made it to the late game, congratulations, and good luck as Miro now trying to earn some of those hero points, the individual effort points. He will find a striker pump shot there, but only going to end up being the 29 headshot. Not what he needs, the uncommon, not necessarily having the best insta down potential coming through here as he's hunting for targets. You can see him spinning around, checking the side, wants to find a lurker on the backside of the zone because he doesn't have a single build. He basically just has to follow and hope somebody ends up leaving their 6 open and he's able to pounce on it, but he needs to also be careful about misstepping. He can only tank 1 shot on the backside of the zone, and if anything more than that will take him down. And Old Man Mountain looking to claim its toll here. He sees he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Will he find it? And he goes down to the pair of agents. Up on the high ground though, Liquid, Stretch, TSM, Dawn, raining shots down, and Old Man Mountain is going to force everyone over towards the side and into a bunch of metal builds as Fatch and Pamsa also go down. Trashy falling to Scented as duos are just getting whittled away.
Yeah, but Stretch doesn't even have a lot of ammunition to work with here. He has to be careful. No shotgun either. So this is everything he has right now. It seems like he's already threw it at the lobby, and this is just a means to hold on. The pressure there is all one big bluff on height, but that's not going to be the problem here. The real problem is this zone. It's coming down, so they're going to have to come down as well. That limited fire is going to be very interesting. Illis slides off the mountain. This is wraps for him. Down he goes. It's up to Jack by himself. He's got a player inside the box. That man's on the run. Jack finds a little moment here. Now he's gonna go ahead and reload, gather himself, play for the situation. Do you go up? Do you go down? He doesn't have mats actually sundown. There's only one direction for him to start heading it.
Yeah, he's actually going to pause for a second, see if he can't catch somebody dropping down, and it's a gift from above falls directly in front of him. He's able to get a quick reset on mats, but nothing else,
gosh.
And he immediately gets taken down. That's 8 eliminations, I believe, for their duo, though you can see Dubs is still up on his feet towards the bottom stretch, and Khanada trying to work towards the bottom in a great little hop. Looks like he's playing a platformer and not a battle royale there. A Stretch navigates, finds a pepper. Will he pop it and get in front of the zone? Trying to use the slide to create a little bit of a change on the side, but he will go down. That's 4th place. Cam and Bucke back up on the high ground. Cold and Scented on the low ground. They got a single solo sandwich in between. Which duo will be able to find the elim points that will come through? It's Cold picking up Nosh there, and we have a 2v2 coming up to close out match number 1. And a huge shot from Cold.
My gosh.
Looking for elim number 8, but he gets immediately ripped down, and Scented gets closed out, and Cam and Bucke take match number 1.
What a big game there for Cam and Bucke there to turn things around. We knew that the no ammo on height was going to be a big problem. We get to see things from Tahi's perspective for a second there as he manages to find himself some endgame points, but Scented and Cold, man, hats off to them. Coming into endgame with 2 eliminations, which was already impressive enough. They managed to pull a 2nd place in game 1 with near 10 eliminations as a duo. Here's Smite and Larson. They didn't get that time in the shine there at the end, but it's okay because Cam and Bucke managed to give us all the limelight we needed there. 6 eliminations in a victory royale.
The cascading placement points happen at the top 25, and we'll swing back on board. Dubs, Mega, they got so much loot, and Monster, not only do they have so much loot, peep where they are in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. They are, you could not possibly be more, I mean, maybe a little bit more center, maybe a couple pixels up to the northwest, but with all that extra build, they could go up as high as they want. They could go as vertical with all of the excess brick, all of the excess wood. Like, it could be so good, but we're gonna end up actually taking a look and seeing what happened with Scented and Cold.
Yeah, this is a very important replay, and this is in this same location, guys. So the loot that they're standing on is Scented and Cold's loot. You can see just from the replay there, they got dived right into, put themselves in this position because they found some key elims.
Yeah, and they're going to need to tunnel into the zone. Let's see how they got those key eliminations. So we pop over to a replay with them. Acorn already sitting on one, but Khanada with a great swap there immediately over, and then closing up the edit, getting his teammate up. That's what you want to see for positioning around the outside. So unlike the other zones, as soon as we get into zone number 4, duos want to be towards the outside rather than being more towards the center. That's because the 5th zone, the half in, half out, is not completely inside the safe zone. It will be overlapping towards the outside. That kind of transitions us into the mid in the late game, as Clix and Day are looking to transition themselves in the late game with a knock right there. Owl's going to end up getting cleaned up. There's another duo right on top of it, so no loot for them. But as we're moving back over to the west, there's tons of old builds here for a little bit, and then a bunch of open space with a slight vertical grade. So some launch pads coming out, as well as a Spider-Man Mythic Gauntlets. Tahi looking for a little bit of space here, but immediately gets cut off. You can see the spray coming down. Some good pathing though from Edgy, finding a line here and trying to get on the back of this duo, and that's just going to be free pickings for them. One goes down. They should be able to get all of his mats and then be able to find the second and just continue pushing forward. However, they're still under Storm Surge. Oh no, they just barely ticked above.
This is a really, really positive position to be in for Tahi and Edgy, who came just short of where they needed to be in that last game. They made Endgame, but they fell a little bit early, as one of the two were kind of out of the competition to support one another. But Illis and Jack, this is a team that is on fire right now, man. Seeing Illis at the top of his game here, this lobby is honestly equivalent to what could be a finals style lobby. Like, the level of player that we have in this competition right now is immaculate on high ground. Bucke and Cam, it seems like this is their style, this is their game, this might just be their season. High ground retakes, playing the dominant position here, right? Just like straight alpha status. And you can see this is another game now coming into Endgame where they have height here. This time, they have the ammo, they have the firepower, the pressure's coming in. Can they get the back-to-back here?
Right now, Edgy just getting shots rained down on him with only 32 HP. He has plenty of shields, but what he needs is space and time to be able to pop them. No white HP, so it can only take 2 more storm ticks there. Impressive. Was able to pick up yet another one in some very good spots, but all it takes is somebody to press forward. As we see, Bucke and Cam up on the high ground, just raining shots down, and he still has a solid amount of brick monster. They could run this out.
This is definitely a game they can take to the very end here. Just look at the ammunition as well. They have everything that they need, but not only that,
5 gauntlets each.
Game already, 5 eliminations inside the situation here, and they still have so much more to work with. This is so perfect for them.
You can see Bugha and Miro getting some elims on the low ground. They also both have 5 charges of those mythic web slingers, so if anything does happen, they'll be able to make a play together, which is huge in duos here, as now we're starting to get some more solo riders here. Illis being one of them on 3 eliminations, doing his best to try and put just a couple wood walls there, but he says nope, down a level, going to utilize what is honestly probably one of my favorite competitive additions, the med miss, going to use it the backside of the zone, just trying to change position a little bit, knowing he's able to offset about 50% of that storm damage and then rotate around the outside. He's going to be able to find a little bit of a gap, but with only one more build, he picks the wrong layer, will end up going down and changing again, but doesn't have the aim to be able to take that one down, doesn't have the HP to trade it over, and we're going to swing back over on the low ground. Acorn Khanada, 7 eliminations right now, Monster.
This is huge. A lot of points and more to be made here as they find a nice little angle there. Acorn is the king of these kind of situations. This is another team, another player that can definitely play these low grounds well. But Khanada, this is where you want him in these box fight type situations. He thrives in endgame clutches. And look at this. They got the player behind the wall. Of course, Khanada's going to wait for it, but someone was just a little bit faster. Who was that? A new player has entered into the scene here, and Khanada gets taken out. It's up to Acorn, who is now left by himself. The pressure overwhelming. The situation at hand is dire here, as he only has 34 HP, and this opponent is just relentless here, jumping into the box. Clock is ticking now, Sundown. Acorn is starting to run out of builds here. Just 28 left, a little bit less, and the high ground pressure comes in. Sniped from up above, Bucke and Cam find themselves another elim here. That's going to bring them on up to 8 now, as there are only 2 other duos remaining before Cam and Bucke can pick up the back-to-back here.
Kenny so riding it out into third, but it's just a solo, and that solo is so depleted. They fought through 3 other solos, but now Cam and Bucke. But as I say that, Bucke actually gets back down, and Cam's going to drop down. Look for the 7th Elam we talk about. Piece control. He just boxed like 3 different grid spaces by himself in the blink of an eye, and he's going to be able to pick that one up for yet another victory royale. Bucke and Cam, that's just brilliant coming out there. I mean, Monster, they're on track already. Even after 2 games, hey, you got to feel good about placing them in that top 8 as long as one more thing doesn't go wonky as we take a look at some of the highlights.
At this point, it's like we handed them a blank check at game 1, and they just wrote, send me to finals. Right on top of it. Take a look at Cam here. Patient, clean, methodical. He just boxes up Commandment, waits for him, and you can see that he was not going to miss that shot as he lined it up perfectly. He just let him come on in, and that was a 10 elim.
So we actually have a replay of our current leaders picking up some elims here there. So swing on over. It's Bucke down by the bugle, trying to find a little bit of space here. Already sitting on the 2 elims. Let's see how we got him.
Take a look here. Daily Bugle, Bucke, and Cam. They're contested. I saw there on the draw spot, Matt Mackwood. I was just going to say Mackwood is here as well. You can see he gets wrapped up and finished there. Mackwood taken out of the competition. Polarized dropped as well.
Really a gun person. They got not a lot of bullets, all right?
Yep. It's pretty clear. This is a rough spot to be in. The second time now we've seen a team on height just not quite have what it takes to hold height, and it doesn't really matter. New high grounds are going to start being developed here as everyone has to rotate across. Khanada on the other side, different story, much different position. All the ammo in the lobby in the world that he can actually hold and use here, and you can see they're putting it to the best of its capability. Hold players on the Storm's edge, get them off your layer if you can't get the elim, and just like that, it works out perfectly now. Seems like they're trying to look for the next kind of setup here. There goes the full slide, and bam. Shotgun shot comes out. Doesn't quite find it, but the piece control was good. Punishment from the other side, though. Has to hit the pause. Whoa, big armor walls come out. Okay, so they're committing to the safety of this game here. Smart, slow, and steady here.
And up on the high ground yet again, Bucke and Cam. Can they make it 3 in a row? Put the stamp and say, not only are we qualifying, we're going to do it with style. Citadorf actually ends up picking up Acorn, so Khanada going to end up being on his own there. Speaking of on his own, that's Illis on the other side. He's going to pick up Goofy Goober. He says, yes, I am, but are you? He ends up going down on that side as Illis continuing to try and find a little bit of space. It does have the med miss, but he's got to start clicking as it only ends up buying you so much space. Find it. Can he end up clicking? Has to keep holding it down. You can just barely able to offset it, but no, just barely runs out as Blah and Knife are trying to challenge up. Bucke able to defensively hold him off for a second, but Cam going down, however, for eliminations, pushing in 136 points again. The qualifying run has been completed. Batch going down on that side. Our match 1 and match 2 champion now sitting as a solo, trying to find a little bit of space, still has 2 charges. He's going to wait to try and be all the way on the backside of the zone and then catch himself back up. Taking shield damage is fine. He has excess of those, but he doesn't want to take any more white damage. Knifer and Blah are going to continue working on the top down as we swing back over. Khanada on the backside of the zone has that legendary striker, trying to find a little bit of a shot. Only finds the 29 there, has a little bit of space, but with no builds, he opens up and then says a good night. As you can see, that little God Ray going down onto Bucke. That indicates where the current leader is as they swing up to the high ground.
This is a very, very important moment now for Knifer and Blah. They actually need this here. They were behind because they kind of had some bad exchanges in the early game, but we saw them find these early game eliminations for the drop spot over at the Llama, right? They've been fighting for this game after game. If they can secure Victory Royale, this would be one step closer, because I feel like their elimination in the early game is just inevitable, right? It's really hard to play contested drops, so this is going to be one of the most important games for them, but the pressure from users on the low ground was a little too good. They get broken out. Clarity's trying to get on in. He's changing the story up. Big shots there, but no. Gets shut down in the low ground there by Thrashy, and all of a sudden now high ground is up for grabs. Nounsy and Sprite managed to pull away with it just barely, and there it is. They find the mats from threats. They're going to have just a little bit more to work with, and all the heals come with it. So all of a sudden, the new team's on height here. Blah does find a couple elims as he starts to jump on down, but there's new high ground. Kimson, Nounsy, and Sprite. 5 eliminations for this duo up top.
And unlike last game where it was one duo and a bunch of solos, now 4 duos battling it out. 8 players still on their feet as TK ends up knocking Nani on the low ground. We still see Nouncy and Sprite laying down shots from above as the battle on the low ground ends up playing out. Visuals gets the roller. Trashies ends up trading him out as TK gets the confirm going over, but it's just going to be the top down. High ground takes it yet again as Nouncy and Sprite just spraying towards the back of the zone.
With a couple of eliminations, like a good chunky amount of elims. That's it. They've done basically enough considering we have 2 games after this one. This is game 4, guys. We're in the back half of the tournament. For Miro and Bugha, 87 points so far is very, very good. Big material as well. Bugha's trying to figure out, why can't I build here? You can't build next to certain structures of the trees in the game, so you have to be very careful, but it's okay. They managed to get over it. He does not waste too much time there, and instead he moves on. Off goes the launch pad. In the feed, Illist is down, Tieko is down. Big names there that we were counting on staying up in the top of the standings. Now out of the competition. Is Jack still up? That's a top 4 team. We have to see Khanada falls as well. I mean, Sundown, we're seeing big names go down. We're seeing a Stretch pop off. We get a little bit of everything right now.
Yeah, but Stretch overcommits, goes all the way down, and Commandant wasn't close enough to be able to back him up. You have to be hip to hip if you're going to commit all the way down to be able to counteract that spray. Yes, you might have enough to be able to clean up the elim, but you don't have enough to be able to turn and cover. You need a second person spraying with you to help out in that situation. Unfortunately, not there. Right now, you can see Jock trying to push through. Don't forget Acorn and Canada also already down. You see TK end up picking up elim. Smite, unfortunately, going to go down as well. We talked about them being right on the line. Miro picking up elim, so Day is going to be able to pick that one up. You know he's happy on that. And Jock trying to push forward. No more builds. So Old Man Mountain trying to find a line, but his line is not good enough. He needs to go up, but he finds a knock and a siphon at right at the key moment and immediately trades it out as High Ground has won nearly every single game. Old Man Mountain pulling it back over, and Nexi and his duo are up there. Bugha trying to find a little bit of room right now. Does have plenty of chug splashes. He also found a med miss, but the med miss was a little bit of a bait. It only had 15 in there. He was hoping for 150. He got a 10th of that, but he is going to be able to find the back of the zone with a decent amount of health to spare. Finds a player there, going to be able to drop down, and he's got plenty of builds, so he should be able to run this out. And he's closing in on a top 10 too, and well over the 100-point mark here with 103.
And he's really playing into the placement right now. You can tell he's not looking for a fight at all. He's trying to just wait this out, let teams take care of themselves. With every team that falls, he earns himself placement. Look at the armored wall, preemptively placing it down just so he doesn't get focused there. This is smart and methodical play by Bugha, and it's actually underrated what he can do in endgame as a tarper. More pressure coming in from up above, though. They're tearing through those builds, and he finds one there. Beautifully done. Squish gets shut down there, making it look nice and easy. He was a single shot away. Now Bugha has a decision to make. He jumps down into the loot there. Oh no, someone else was looking at it as well. And all of a sudden now, things are really racking up for him. 109 points. Can he get a little bit more here?
19 builds, still has a steel wall, but it looks like for the aggro, and what a shot.
Yes.
Bugha finds it, and not only does he find it, clicks, goes down there, and he gifts him over the legendary striker pump. He says, here, this is for your trouble, but it doesn't matter. A pump's only good if you're able to fire it out, and the spray from the striker cleans him up. And working top down, it's not often you see them off of the low ground, but Cold and Scented now with 6 eliminations. They're up to 102. They're into the top 5, and they're one of the few duos still up on their feet. They're looking to clean up a bunch of solos and potentially grab a victory royale here in game number 4.
We might just see Scented versus Commandment on the low ground right now. Commandment is still alive. He just worked Fatch and Pamstu on the low ground by himself, but Scented steals both of those weakened elims. Commandment, though, is still alive. What an animal he is down there. And there's a knock player. Oh, no, actually, it's Nexi who's by himself. 2 solos. Down goes Commandment. Nexi with the jumping drop kick right there over the top build. Beautifully done. Nexi has done something exceptional so far. He's managed to hold this out to the very, very end. But in a 2v1 against some of the best, it's gonna be difficult. He's not giving up just yet, though, Sundown.
I was about to say, is it going to be difficult? He's making it look pretty easy. He's the one raining the shots back, and he's forcing him back. But as I say that, picking up an elim onto Cam, that should be enough of a qualification for Pump and Nani now that they're into the late game. So a second team should be able to book its spot. But right now, eyes are all on Eonzo. Can he keep his team on that top 8 pace with the solo clutch here? Can he get some of those hero points, the clutch points, the individual effort points? But Monster, right side of the screen, 103 below. Players are dropping, but I don't think they're dropping that fast. Storm Surge turns on in 10 seconds. He has to go.
Yeah, he's looking. You can tell he's looking, but he's picking and choosing his moments that he's trying to find a shot. He does not want to take a duo. He is not trying to challenge any duos. Whenever he sees two players, he's actually second-guessing himself and stopping. But now the real pressure is on. The surge is actually active. 8 players have to go down. Out comes the shotgun. He takes a little bit of fall damage there. Further play, and that was the kind of thing he's been trying to avoid this entire time. Opening up against 2 players, being on the low ground does not make it any better. He has to get up, and he has to get up quick here. He's using the builds instead of the hands. We'll see if it's the right play. And here it is. Desperate time. Big shot right there. That's a white tag. This could be the player he's been looking for right here. Can he get the full finish? One more tag away, and no, he's not going to find it. Doesn't find any points either because no one falls there. So unfortunate for Iamzo. He's close, but not close enough now. It's going to come down to the last game for DGen and Iamzo now. For Acorn and Khanada, though, this could be their round. This could be where they punch their way all the way through.
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, and there's no grenades in the competitive playlist, and the animals in Fortnite are llamas. Let's go as Acorn and Khanada try and confirm their spot here, 124, but they're making it through. Pump already has gotten it, as well as they're into our top 13. Hopping on board here, this is our high ground duo, Nick and Beef, 68 points and climbing as yet another placement point ends up ticking over. We're into our top 10 and only one solo as the rest have their duos up as Nani and Pump fall, but that should have been enough for their qualification, but it's Acorn who ends up dropping him down. So that elimination plus the placement point should also put him in the top 8. The question is, who else can close the gap? Our 9th place team currently, Visuals and TK working top to bottom. Visuals trying to find a little bit of an angle as they now have complete high ground control.
Definitely a sleeper team right there, popping up out of nowhere right now. Another big game to push teams that are outside on in. Khanada and Acorn, though, still tearing it up right now. Look at the points here, 137, and they look like they're not going to stop just yet. As I say that, though, Acorn gets sidelined here, waiting for Khanada, who was on the backside, but Khanada, right-hand peek is just a little bit better. You can tell that player didn't have much builds. He was just playing a little slow, but all these heals, Khanada's instead sit back. He's going to wait it out. He knows exactly how much time he has to work with there. Mythic hands are tempting, but no. Goes against his better judgment there, decides stick to the script here. I'm going to go on and wait it out. Beautiful angle now, jumps on in. That's a blue tag, turns around, but could not close out. No highlight for him. Instead, it's threats and users up top. 5, make that 6 elims now, and Endpen goes down. Here comes the closeout. All they have to do is finish it off. You can hear the silence set in as they realize, yeah, we got this Victory Royale. We'll wait it out here. The pressure is going to come in, and this should be all she wrote here. They start to pressure it out. Too much time is on the zone here, Sundown. You best believe they're going to win this one.
Yeah, but no more light ammo for threats. So, I mean, unless he wants to chuck ADS shotgun shots into the zone, he can just kind of watch and hope users will be able to close it out. Users was able to pick up a just disgusting triple elimination to give them the high ground control, and ultimately they'll ride that out as yet again high ground will take the match. But some great individual performances here, Monster, in match number 5 as we get into the replays with 2 or 3 teams confidently booking a spot into that top 8.
Yeah, definitely. Acorn and Khanada being one of those big highlights there. Shout out to TK and Visuals, managed to take that high ground early on. And then here goes threats and users who close that game out, push themselves officially into that triple-digit mark with the
utility and shields that are available. So many players holding on to them, and right now, users holding on to those and holding on to these walls for his dear life, but can only look in so many directions. It looks like Threats may have abandoned him. I think Threats changed down a level. It did not edit users down with him, and now users stuck out in the zone, and Threats is going to leave him there. The Man City player is going to try and push forward for himself, but unfortunately, next up means next out. See you later, and see you on Sunday if you can make it to round 3, because that is not a top 8 score. We're going to swing back on over. Currently sitting in 7th place, Scented and Cold, picked by 2 of our analysts to make it all the way through the finals. This was your pick, right? It was you.
Oh, definitely. I mean, listen, I'll try to play the safe pick here, a team that I know is going to be absolutely consistent, but they've made it much closer than what it had to be. They dropped a game or 2, and now all of a sudden we have come down to the final game. It's all down to the final game for this team right now. On high ground, though, There is duos looking down. Scented just going with the very, very bold rotation here, not even pausing to look back or protect his high ground at all. He just rotates clean and outright, straight confident here that he's going to make it all the way through. Cold's already leading the front side. This might be the big mistake, though. He stays behind. Now he has to take the fight. It's a bit forced here. Out to the side he goes. Luckily, these are his layers. Are those his floors up above is the real question, though. He could easily get ambushed or edited down on. But no, it works through. White tag right there. He's excited. Calls for Cold to go ahead and finish that one. It could happen right here. Cold's hungry. He's on the hunt now. None. But they're still in it. They're still alive. And they might just be right over the surge threshold. Things have to update here for a second. Maybe not actually. No, they don't have any XSundown. They're in a dire position right now.
They're in a dire position, but again, the excess utility and the med miss should be enough. Players are dropping like flies, and we got a far 7th zone pull.
Oh my God.
Monster, we are going all the way through, in the closet, through the wardrobe. Might as well go find a lamppost, because we're going all the way out into the zone. Iamzo ends up dropping as well. There's Cold and Scented. They fall out of nowhere. Khanada on the backside of the zone, also getting pressured. As Bugha now, as we swap over, 0 elims well above Storm Surge, but just trying to find placement points. Don't forget, every single duo that drops is 1 additional point. Miro and Bugha directly on top of each other, trying to stick hip to hip. You can see no more chug splashes going through, no more white HP except the form of the peppers, but the peppers are going to be enough to keep him on the front of the zone. 30 players left, so Storm Surge is turned off. He's burning through most of his heavy mats, and soon he'll only have wood left.
Commandment and Sensitive fell in 7th at the moment right there, so this is not a safe position to be in at all, as you have Bugha, teams and players like Bugha and Miro Live who are holding 9th here, right, actively. 127, they have to continue to stay alive here. Any sort of eliminations might just be the point swing that Bugha and Miro need. 130 now, as they manage to stay alive. They need to continue to troop on here. Can they find a single one? There's a duo in front of them. No. They don't go for the edit. Instead, they go to sneak on through. Miro's playing it very risky, greedy for the mats. It works out. It ends up playing into his favor. He picks it up. These are old builds now. Wait a second. Do they get a little lucky here?
They need a little bit of luck. Npen going down. Illis also going down. Nexi still trying to make a little bit of room for himself, making tons of plays. We talked about the explosiveness. Aviv trying to find a little bit of space for him. A ton of room right now. As we talked about, low ground is very empty, but everyone is just clinging on. We're going into a 9th zone here with still 11 duos up. Probably one more going to drop, as Aviv only needs 2 ticks to take him down. Only has 1 charge left in the gauntlets. Has plenty of ammunition, but without the white HP, he needs a near instant shot. Finds the 61 damage onto the shield, but the Storm is at his back. The rest of the lobby is at his front. Nexi picks up yet another one. I want to know how many solo elims that man has, and the zone bounces back on top of Aviv.
Nexi's definitely going crazy. We've seen him just lighten up the feed. Finally, the beast gets shut down by Qual there in the full finish. Jock finally falls down as well. Wait a second, so he made it very, very far. Qual's knock is a little late. Aviv, though, in the 1v1 situation, takes the gunfight. 12 HP, big build. Oh my gosh, just a finish right there. The shutdown onto Zemo. Another point swing for him. Brings him up to 116. What can he do? Can he actually solo clutch right now? He's gonna need a couple more eliminations. This heal right now is so important. Oh no, out comes the edits. He's out of builds here, down to low ground, where he's gonna meet with Miro and Bugha at the bottom there, and they find themselves a pivotal elimination. 136 now. Can they jump up? Can they secure it? This is the elim right now. This is the singular fight and moment that matters. I don't see the points jumping up, not just yet. It's down to this one right here. Look at with the body movement. My gosh, not good enough. Miro's by himself now. Only 2 elims, you can tell. They have struggled to make it this far, and down he goes, but not before picking up a couple placement points. It might have just been enough. And visuals in TK as well here, Sundown, clutching up in the last game.
Visuals and TK trying to run it out with 3 eliminations. You can see it looks like they've been able to push up into 6th place. They're incredibly close, but you can see he's just a solo. He has the duo on his wall on the other side. He just wants to outlast, try and get plus 1 more point, and he was able to just barely do it. Just wait, just holding on for an extra second will eke him out those 2nd place placement points, working from the top down the stretch. And Commandant, they say, we're going through, and we're going through confidently. Another one of the predictions taking it away in 1st place, but 6
matches were down some brilliant individual efforts. And honestly, Monster, a lot of the teams you would figure to see at the top were there, but also a couple of surprises.
Definitely some surprises. I'm more curious at this point if Scented and Cold's 130.
And I want to look immediately down the 8th spot. Yep, no doubt. TNA Miro, Sen, Bugha, Dorf closed it out 143. Monster, you talked about it. That line got pushed up.